If you like the content today, consider becoming a Patreon supporter of Street Smart Swing. When you do that, you get access to my bonus online swing dance content, where you can learn how to master Lindy Hop with the simplest approach on earth. I'll see you in class. Woo! Jamin here. Make sure you subscribe below. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at an open classic Lindy Hop competition at ILHC 2021. This should be pretty interesting. I saw many of these dancers compete in the open solo jazz competition, and I was quite impressed. So let's see what they can do with a partner in this competition, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts afterward. Let's go. Okay, this looks like it's going to be a long competition, 30 minutes to be precise. Here we go. Marina and Leandro. Yeah, I liked that transition. What I really like so far about this couple is it seems like they are really using social dance as a strong foundation instead of prioritizing choreography first. I think that's quite interesting that they're doing this even at the open level. A lot of people tend to yield more toward choreography in a more overproduced manner, but this couple's doing quite the opposite. Oh! Yes. 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 What's good about this is all their hard stuff is actually the things that they're leading and following. Not so much the flash that comes with choreography per se. A lot of times you can embellish choreography because your social dancing might seem plain, but their social dancing tends to be their strength. This is great. Yes, that was good. We're off to a good start. Okay, Anouk and Clément. Another couple using choreography as their foundation. This is good. No, I'm sorry, not choreography, but they're using social dance as their main foundation. I will say that this one is a little too focused on the social dance and not a performance toward the audience. Here we go. They're shifting a little bit. It looked a little busy, and it kind of got me disconnected as an audience member. I felt like it's a good social dance. They're having fun. Maybe for even like a jam circle type choreography. I like the choreography, but again, the way it's placed in relationship to the camera, I feel like it's more of something that you would do in a jam, not so much in a classic. This is a really good song. And I think they're matching the intensity of the song. These musicians are really going all out. And I feel like they're matching the intensity also. So they're doing it a good service. I will say overall, the choreography didn't fit for a classic, in my opinion. Yes, it had social dance, it had choreography, but the way it was arranged disconnected me from them. And I think that just has to do with how they were moving in circles and facing each other more than eventually turning toward the camera and doing things. So it's tough, guys. It's a really tough balance. Not to say people can't dance. It's just that we're not talking about the technical stuff as much. We're talking about the formation and structure of art. So we got another couple from Argentina. So far, I'm liking what I see. Yes. Good transitions out of social dancing to choreography to solo jazz. Really solid. Yeah, so this couple basically is doing what the last couple had trouble doing, which is staging your choreography section so that it includes the audience. Yeah, I like that. I like that Backstreet Boys turn at the end. Fabian and Luciano from Switzerland. Okay, I like the tone of what they're going for because I feel it looks natural for them. It's actually a soft touch, a little bit more elasticity to their movement, and not many jarring quick stops to their movement. Everything's kind of flowing together. I will say the arrangement of their choreography, again, is yielding more toward solo jazz movement. And I tend, as a judge, to appreciate when dancers use solo jazz to separate quickly, not too much, but separate in a way where we anticipate you getting back together with your partner, but at the same time, we want the solo movement to not be weaker than the movement that you do together. And so in this case, I feel like their solo movement is stronger than what they're doing together when they're social dancing. And that, for me as a judge, is not very good. I like to see the balance of strengths in their movement, solo and when they're together. I will say they've included me as an audience member since the very beginning. Yeah. Again, great example of good staging, consistent tone, but I will say their solo was stronger than their partner dancing, so I can't rank it too high, but I still have to appreciate it for what it is. Excuse me, I'm still kind of suffering from a cough. Okay, a lot of this choreography so far is very similar to like a Strictly. Like you're dancing in a jam circle, you've got a loud audience, and there's a lot of social dance heavy movement, and it lacks a little bit on the performance aspect, where I expect some moving and some stopping and some breaks at certain points to let their movements breathe a little bit in terms of pacing, but also more important, to let the audience know that they're in on the ride also. They're not just out here watching you guys, in your room practice. We're actually seeing some performance that includes us. And I feel some couples are doing this better than others. I think this couple's strength is really designed more for like a strictly Lindy competition. I can already imagine like people being around them cheering, and it fits a little bit more naturally than what I would say a open classic competition. Yes. Good movements. I really like how they used the stops and the emphasis there in the song. That was a really great example of performance and showmanship. Love that ending. That's great. Okay, Kristen and Yoon. South Africa and South Korea unite. Yeah, I like when they make an emphasis or with a stop that doesn't look like it's a really cheap moment where they both are doing the exact same thing when they stop. I liked how they changed that. She was doing something different and he was doing something different. It's great. Again, this one kind of at the same time has great connection movement together with their partners. Their social dancing looks pretty good, but I will say they're struggling with the arrangement because a lot of their movements make me feel like the camera should be on the other side of them, looking toward the screen. And sometimes I feel like it should be left or right. Again, what it does when you don't have the right format of your choreography, if it's not optimized in a way where it includes the audience, it feels cold. It just feels busy, feels cold, and you respect it. You might say as an audience member, I can't do that. They're really good, but we're not moved emotionally, and we want to be moved emotionally in the audience. So great job on the technicality of what they're doing. Like many other couples at this level, they kind of struggle with the staging on this. So Anna and Khan, Slovenia and Turkey. Let's go. Here we go. Yeah, very good. Now you see their staging? They have a lot of circles while they're moving with their partner, and yet they still find a way to position their body where they face the audience. Really good. So far, this one is really impressing me in terms of the choreography, the way it's arranged, their social dancing, and their solo dancing is all strong. I'm a little more forgiving when they separate because they really established an interesting tone and personality at the very beginning. Just by being separate and having a little bit of expression that was different. See, the ending is like that also. That's unique. That's when you can remember the couple. So Alba and Isaac is next. Here we go. A nice background. This is awesome. Okay, so this choreography again, is struggling because of the arrangement. Now I feel like there's a good break here. They're facing me again. At first, I felt like it was a team choreographed piece where you have like multiple swing dance couples moving and doing sets together. It kind of gives me that feeling. Nothing wrong with that if you are intentionally doing that, but if you don't know, then you don't know. And sometimes it impacts the perception of how judges and quite frankly, the audience sees your overall piece of work. What I think about this couple is interesting is they are solid on their social dance. They're solid on their solo dance, but I think the weak link is the meshing of the two. I think they're having trouble being able to transition from solo dance to social dance in a way that actually doesn't look too elementary. Some people can transition from a social dance movement into solo dancing, and I think there were a couple of other couples who did that better. And this couple is kind of struggling with that because we clearly see when there's a break to go into solo dancing, and when they go back to social, a lot of times it's very obvious. These are those unsaid rules, guys. This isn't just like the ultimate say, but these are things that a lot of judges will look at based on the foundation that's been laid by many other dancers. And we don't know why we like those things or value those things, but I like to point them out. These are not like rules per se, but this is the residual impact of swing dance culture in competitions. And we can't totally abdicate everything just because it's old or we don't like it, but there's certain things we have to cling to that are really good in terms of foundation, but we don't talk about them. So like I said, I'm one of the few that actually talks about them. So don't get too discouraged if we criticize, or if I criticize something that you're doing. It really is in context to the legacy of the classic category for competitions. Okay, and so what I like about this couple, I like their personality so far. I think they both are into what they're doing. Facial expressions are there. I feel for the open level, this is appropriate. One observation I will say though, is I feel like this couple should have had a slightly faster song. I think they're struggling to really match the tone of the rhythm. So sometimes it looks like they're swinging the notes, and sometimes it feels like they maybe have, forgot a piece of choreography, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that part. Let me hurry up and get back on beat. And sometimes that's just it could just simply be a tempo thing. Great sequence. You see that? That was really good. Using social dance to go into something different. It really is a challenging art, guys. This particular competition format is really hard. I mean, a lot of people are choosing to do solo dancing and then go right into choreography, and they make it very obvious when they do those changes. For some couples, it works really well when it's obvious based on what they were doing before. But a lot of these couples, when they go from one aspect of the dance to the next, it looks elementary and it kind of takes you out of it. So let's see, Hyungjung and Shio from South Korea. That's a great example of solo to social, back to solo. Great example. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Those little sequences like that. The audience wants to feel that. They want to be surprised. I almost got chicken skin. Almost. The strength of this couple so far has been their transitions and the positioning of their choreography whenever they are doing solo and going into a transition. I won't say that all of their choreography when it's social dancing keeps me engaged as a viewer, but I will say when they go from one aspect, like social to solo, yeah, they're solid. Really, really solid. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Dennis and Malik from Turkey. Here we go. All right. What I like so far is personality, distinction in the way they look. And they're including me. Yes, I like that look. That was great. She like looked back. Yeah, good transition. Very good. Yes. He's like, shake your head, shake your head. She couldn't even see him, but she's like, yeah, I feel he's subliminally telling me to shake my head too. That was great. Good example. Great transition. A little bit of social with some choreography, and they spin right out of it to face the audience. Give us a little break there. I will say one of the only weaknesses of this routine so far I'm noticing is they're having trouble with spacing. They're taking up a lot of time, doing some Charleston type movements, but their positioning tends to be facing each other and they kind of vacillate in this position. And in doing so, again, it leaves the audience out a little bit and we actually can't see the beauty of their movements all the way. Either I see the partner's, her back or his back, or his face partially or her face partially, but never like at the exact same time. Yeah. Yeah. See, that was entertaining. What I liked most about that one, it felt fresh and unique. It did have some trouble technically. Let's say Seo Long, and I didn't get his partner's name. I keep talking in between. I'm sorry, guys. Solid social dancing. This is great. I will say this is the strength so far. And I like how they're including some choreography while they're still connected. Yeah, great example. Great example. Yeah, see? Great example. Great transitions, remaining connected. That is not the ultimate standard, but it's a legacy that a lot of great classic dancers or dancers who've done the classic Lindy Hop category, who have been awarded many awards and gotten a lot of recognition, have done over the years. And we don't really want to just totally ignore those standards that have been set up for certain categories. And I think this couple is really doing well, whether they recognize their strength or not. I think they're able to do just some of these things naturally in their choreography. And it looks really, really good. That was awesome. That was awesome. Okay, Teresa and Farouk, USA. Okay, they're establishing that they're using social dance as their foundation. And so far, everything can be led and followed. Okay, here we go. Great way to include the audience there. Very good. Get it? Yeah. Okay, so my critique of this so far is pretty consistent with many other ones. This couple's strength is when they do one or the other, social dance, or they do solo dance, and it's strong. But the weakness here is the link between the two. I don't see the social dancing initiating a movement that will pivot and go into something like solo dance to surprise me as an audience member. Nor do I see them go from solo dance back over to social in a way that's surprising. And I think that's one of the key elements in this competition format that a lot of these dancers are missing. There's a huge opportunity there. You want a lot of theatricality and deception in order to make these simple jazz moves appeal to the audience emotionally. It's really difficult to do that. If the moves are easy, it takes a little bit more elan and critical thinking to be able to position it right. So great job, guys. Okay, guys, that was really fun to watch. And I got to remind you, this type of format is really special. There's a lot of unsaid values when people are entering this particular competition that I don't feel are shared enough out there. When I used to do a classic, like, you can only go by what you thought was important, and what you thought was important were the things that placed, or the people who placed, right? And so a lot of times the very macro perspective is forgotten in exchange for little micro moments, little moves here and there, little pieces of choreography and some social dancing. But the dancers forget that there's this coalescing idea that grounds the classic Lindy Hop category. A lot of people don't know what this is, and a lot of people might have different nuanced perspectives on these things, but these three elements are there. You have social dancing, you also have choreography, and then there is also another element of solo jazz. But the thing is, they throw everything together and they forget the element of surprise. The whole way to move the audience emotionally is to do something that's unexpected. And that usually has to do with original moves or some type of aspect of timing. And so what I look for when I'm looking at this classic category is I'm seeing from a very macro scale, clearly everyone knows how to dance. So the technique's there. But what I'm looking at is how seamlessly they go from one aspect of the classic category to another. I want to see if they can go from social to solo, or solo to choreography, or choreography to social, in a way where it leaves some room for surprise. So what I saw was a lot of great choreography, but everything seemed a bit surface and conspicuous when it comes to the threading of those three key ideas that make a classic really special. So I gotta say, there were two winners for me, and one of them's a bit more obvious, you would think. Some of you might think, and then there's one that is not as obvious. Let me tell you the one that I felt was in second place. And this couple was Hyunjung and Sheo from South Korea. Now, when you see their choreography, you might think, well, it's not as flashy, it's not as surprising, but as a judge, what I was looking for primarily is how they transition from solo jazz back to social dancing and back to choreography. And as you could see so far, this couple is, of course, doing some of the basic transitions that we can all see coming, like, oh, we're going to do a swing out. But a lot of times they start a swing out and they break the choreography and they go into something that you don't expect. And I think this is the essence of the classic Lindy Hop category that people forget about. Like, as you see this moment here, they're moving along. Okay, back to social dancing. And guess what? What's going to be the surprise? Okay, how are they going to get out of it? Okay, back to social dancing. And my eyes were getting used to seeing this. Oh, there's a little break and more choreography and more stopping. So this couple really understood this innately. And sometimes this is a gift for people. People are better like arrangers and editors than they are craftsmen. Some are better at creativity. But this couple understands how to thread these three elements together in such a way that their movements aren't incredibly exciting and in your face. The energy level is a little bit more calm, but the surprise element is still there in those transitions. So that's what I looked for And this was my second favorite couple, primarily because of this natural ability to organize social dancing, solo dancing, and choreography. So big shout out to them for really keeping the essence of what this category is all about. And so that was my second place couple. Now, my first place couple is a little different. I think ultimately they had some ideas that I felt could have been executed better. There could have been some moments where they may have gone from social dancing to solo, but instead they went from like social dancing to choreography, and the contrast wasn't as strong. But I will say they had some more potent moments that were more contrasting than my second place couple. And this couple is Deniz and Malik from Turkey. Now, obviously what I like about their routine, it's a totally different tone. It's a little bit more exciting, but I will say the tempo is the same. But notice how they go from social to solo, back to social to choreography, and they vacillate many, many different times through those three principles throughout their entire routine. Now, I will say the arrangement of these principles could have been done differently. And that's just my artistic perspective of things. Sometimes there's a science to getting the emotion you want from the audience, and they're a little bit more objective, but this is just my preference. There were some things that could have been arranged in a different way to really give them a bigger bang. And so this couple, like I said, they were able to go back and forth and thread all three of those components in a way where I could appreciate the surprises and appreciate their choreography for what they were going for. And that, I think, is the ultimate winner for me when I'm looking at a classic. Ultimately, I want to see the entertainment level. Do I feel something? Usually that's the determining factor between second place and first place. There's that magical creative moment or spontaneous timing that hits, and all of a sudden the audience feels something and you just yell and you scream. Usually those are the moments that separate the first two. But ultimately, I'm looking at structure of choreography, because this is not just a social dance demonstration. We're not looking at how well they can maintain the technique improvising. There are elements of social dance, but the primary thing here is how are they arranging their choreography in a way where it amplifies the music, the hearing aspect of what's going on, and it ties it together with something visual in a seamless way so that the audience hopefully can feel something. And I think these couples nailed it. So big shout out to them. Those are my winners. A lot of the other couples had some really great ideas. I think there were a lot of things that were there that were really better than these top two couples that I picked who had the better package. But I think this particular group of competitors, you guys are on the right track. Keep up what you're doing. Don't chisel away your uniqueness, your personality. Because obviously as you compete, you're going to have more and more scrutiny. You're going to have more and more feedback from people. And a lot of that feedback will be subjective things. And you want to be able to ask people, is this something that is like a preference thing, or is this something that's like fundamental? And listen to what they have to say, because that will help you not make the mistake like I see many dancers do, which is basically trimming away the very thing that makes you you. Because you're special. You have a unique fingerprint in the dance. You may not feel that way, but many of the old clips that we have are filled with dancers who never knew we would be looking at their moves. And so we never want to play ourselves down too much, and nor do we want to get the big head too much, because within 3 to 4 years, there's always a new big couple, right? And everybody forgets all the couples that came before. And that's something that we got to watch out for too, because we are part of something that has a tremendous legacy attached to it. And I think we could do better at honoring those who have really made an impact to either preserve this dance or to innovate it and to push it to the next level. So let's never forget that. You're a part of that legacy. You are directly attached to it if you are doing this dance. So let me know what you guys thought about this competition. Who do you all think was the winner of the competition? Let me know below. I look forward to seeing your comments. Take care.